and Psalm on the Rega.
To the far right, in the red, Estar here. Here they are. We're going to have X on Illidan, H playing Abathur, Tiger on Tassadar, Xingxi on Vala, and SW will be playing the Ariel. Now, I do want to give a little bit of kudos here to Tempostorm. While we did watch him the other day play on Sky Temple, it was a bit slow and methodical, and to the point where it felt like they were never taking any risk, but they seem to understand how important this battleground can be and how quickly it can snowball out of proportion. So Tempostorm, with them seeing what Estar has here, I expect them to at least put some pressure on their opponents.
They have to. They have to try and find a few kills here. They have a couple of stuns that they can stack, which is, I think, a bit of a saving grace for them. It's the one opening they have into the game, just getting that Murden stun, following up with Uther, and trying to use Cassia with a quick fend and the damage output to simply blow a target up. Because let's face it, once that Estar starts losing heroes, it's going to be rough, and this is a good start for them. Taking Illidan out up at the top lane gives them a bit of momentum here as they are trying to pressure Estar.
Question, why would you dive into 3 members, even with an Abathur hat, and a blind from Cassia? Not even sure why Savage even took that trade.
Maybe a little bit of confidence here. We know that the Chinese, they really love to fight, but in this case, he, a bit too much here. Overall, I have to say, later when we're going into a 5 versus 5 stage of the game, Tempostorm is going to have a bit of a rough time in these team fights. But as we all know, Sky Temple is a map where you can try and play around your opponent. It's something that our panel has alluded to as well. You need to go for these objectives, and I'm curious if Tempostorm might find a way to take Estar down here.
We'll see if they can pull it off here, and Savage continues to be aggressive here in the bottom lane against Cattle. Cattle happily taking that trade as he has multiple minions to help him out with that engage. Now, the top 3 here, the Tassadar, Ariel, and Vala, this trio of members are very devastating together, especially in a lane, so we're going to watch for them as they push in that top.
We have seen Xingxi for Estar Gaming on that Vala perform to an absolute incredible level when he's supported by 2 supports, and in this case, you have even an Abathur that can jump in if need be. Usually we would see Abathur focus a bit more on Illidan, but depending on how the map works and where they fight, we could see him also on the Vala, and this is a real threat, especially with how well he plays. He knows exactly how far he can go.
We'll see how far he can go as Tassadar will be rotating down, get up that top as Rhaegar took over the lane for a little bit. Illidan will head up there instead to deal with the Rhaegar, but the trio is back here in the middle, and Fury and crew are dancing around, but at some point you need to engage. There it is. Stormbolt comes out, Cattle dives in.
Now let's just face it, Tempostorm has a very decent lead in experience that granted them an early level 4 talent. Estar has now caught up and is able to fight on even talents, but Tempostorm is still maintaining a slight lead here and nearly accumulates to an entire level by now. To the top we have Illidan taking one of the temples, Abathur of course with the experience soak at that bot lane. But at this moment in time, Tempostorm still doing fairly well in the early game.
Yes, Estar takes the lead here because they get more control over the temple to take out multiple turrets and get the sieging going from there. You would expect Tempostorm to take a lead in the experience due to an Abathur being on the opposing side, but with Estar controlling those temples so well and having proper rotations to handle Tempostorm and their movement, they're in a great spot as they move up.
Now when we're talking about the builds, we already have Cattle working towards a ping-pong build on Genji, going straight into the Swift Strike here. And also in addition to that, we have Abathur with a few adjustments, going on level 1 into the regenerative microbes, trying to get that extra shield and regeneration, and level 4 then the Adrenal Overload. And that's of course really one of the best talents if you are playing with an Illidan and even with a Vala here. But Vala with a hybrid going into the punishment, fight at the bot lane, and talking Vala, she is down. Xingxi taken apart as Tempostorm goes in with the double stun and uses Cassia to deliver the final blow.
Tempostorm playing the appropriate way here to break down an opposing team that is running this type of competition. Put pressure on them and get a couple of takedowns where you can. Even had a chance to get Tassadar, but Tassadar with a solid juke will be able to escape from that area. Tempostorm moving into level 7 right now and getting themselves set up, but we're still frightened for them. When they get to level 10 and are even footing against an Abathur comp, it's where it could get scary. Savage in trouble on the right side though, and Tempostorm continues to do it.
Yeah, Tempo's doing really well here to the top. Abathur was attempting to help out Illidan, but then with Rhaegar jumping in and Genji just simply hunting him down, he could not even escape over the wall here. There's another thing though that I want to point out real quickly, and this is the level 4 talent that we have on the side of Tiger on his Tassadar. We have Kala's Light taken. Now after the Tassadar buffs, a lot of people have been talking about the 90% life leech that you have available on level 4, but with the setup that we're seeing here, Estar has basically identified that one of the ways that Tempostorm could really win a team fight is by eliminating with a good stun combo a target. So going into Kala's Light and attempting to get that extra armor is really huge for them to keep those key heroes like Illidan and Vala alive in a big battle.
Speaking about talents here, look at level 7 here for Abathur, picking up the mule, trying to help out with the temples and then showing away. What do you think about that pick?
I actually like Mule quite a bit. It can be a great talent on a map like Sky Temple. It's probably one of the best maps for the talent. So I think in the setup that they're running here, Mule helps them quite a bit. It's also one of those things that just delays the map even longer. It drags everything out, and that's where especially an Abathur, Illidan, and also with that Vala just gets more and more momentum. So they really try to play for the late game as well.
Tempostorm set themselves up here, moving on Ariel. She's low on health and will fall. Tempostorm earning another kill, looking for more. Tassadar drops out the dimensional shift and will retreat, but this does give up the temple over to Tempostorm, and they'll be able to shell away on that bottom fort.
Now, the problem that Estar Gaming has currently is that Abathur is still at level 10. Therefore, you miss out on the copy, and you cannot go into these fights with the additional hit point pool that offers. But Tempostorm is doing this really well, as we could see in the last few fights. They have 4 kills against 0. The big question just is, what happens after level 10? And Tempo, therefore, is trying to increase the lead they have for as much as they can. They know they have their 10s. There's no way for Estar to really contest here, so they go for the boss immediately, and this should be a free boss for them.
They start coming in here to harass slightly, but shouldn't dive in, and they do not. The boss goes over, as you mentioned, completely free here for Tempostorm, and they're in a great spot, man. I want to yell out some kudos to Tempostorm. The other day, I criticized a little bit. They were a little bit passive on this battleground in particular, but today, identifying what their opponents have and what they need to do, they are executing perfectly, pushing in the bottom lane here with the boss, grabbing giants as well. Can start breaking down those forts to make that mule obsolete.
Yep, so down here we have the first fort going down. The level 10, as we said, is going to be really important. Keep in mind, there is no real tank on the side of Estar. This is like the biggest thing when we're looking at their setup. So the only real melee hero that they have with this is the Illidan. And once you start carrying the momentum into your opponent's backline, if you get the first kill, it's very difficult for Tempostorm to disengage. So it's all about momentum here for them. And they finally have the level 10. Let's see if they can use it. Already a Force Wall and the Detainment Strike in a good combo to stun a target out, but they cannot follow up just yet, especially since we still have Illidan down at the bottom. But Vala is really starting to go to town here.
Taking some damage here. Ancestor healing perfect here, coming out, and from June healing up the Cassia. Here's the hunt as we're going to have Illidan flying in. Savage gets blinded immediately here. However, Cassia does fall.
Cassia goes down, and X is still trying to go in here. Fury with a quick Stormbolt helping out. This could have been even worse. At that point, they lost 1 hero, but they could have lost so much more here. There was a very well-executed retreat on the side of Tempostorm. Here comes the stun combo. Rhaegar, on the other hand, falls as he dives in for the bite. And you can really tell how much of a difference this is now that we have level 10 available for Estar Gaming.
Yeah, I gotta agree with you. Level 10 hitting here. The Rain of Vengeance being helpful for the Cassia to stop her armor, her trait being there. Savage is getting locked down here. Uther helping out with a stun. We're gonna do a pretty solid amount of job of damage killing Savage, but he gets away with half the health there as Ariel will top him off, and now with Temples activated here in the middle and the bottom, it's all about the objective.
Also, think for a moment of how this fight actually started. When we had the fight towards the mid lane, towards the right, it was a 4 vs 5. Illidan came in way late after he defended against the boss at the bot lane and the level 10 was available to them. He went in with a hunt, but it was towards the end of the fight already. Up to that point, it was really all about Vala dishing out the damage and Jingzi really delivering here. Tempostorm, this is really the time where they have to be careful because Estar is picking up a lot of momentum now.
SW with the perfect Detainment Strike hitting Cattle into the wall here. They're going to turn around and put some damage on him. He's going to try and deflect where he can, but he gets blown up. They're going to have June come out with the Divine Storm, trying to slow down the opposing members, but Savage is not stopped at all. He continues to chase another Detainment Strike into the Force Wall.
Double Vala with that down. They go in once again. Detainment Strike into the Force Wall was great. X is a bit too deep. No fear, no shame. He just moves in and gets supported by the Tassadar and the Oriel. All that trust on Illidan here. Instead of moving backwards, just driving the momentum into the heart of Tempostorm. And the 2 supports, they got his back and keep him alive here. So now all of a sudden, we have 4 kills against 6. Since level 10 hit, for Estar Gaming, Tempostorm hasn't gotten a single kill, and Estar just got 6 kills in the last 2 team fights.
Yeah, that's a reminder. Tempostorm was ahead here, going 10-9 early. Remember, they took that boss, pushing that bottom. Now Estar ahead 14-12. Abathur double soaking during that entire fight as well, helping his team continue to move forward. The objective's starting to be controlled, and you're seeing really the rewards coming here. The top fort low on health. Members are starting to fall apart here as W's holding down the bottom. Forts are falling.
Yeah, also talking about forts, we have in the mid lane a fort on half health for Estar Gaming. That's mule value right there. So they can just repair that over time now, especially since they start to control the map. I want to point something else out. We have Piercing Lash taken on level 13 now for Oriel. So they are really committing to that combo with a Force Wall and Tassadar, and now the cooldown reduction and multiple stuns that they can achieve here. And they do it again. The execution on that combo is just absolutely beautiful to watch.
Been quite flawless so far, but with an ultimate evolution coming out, Tempostorm watching out for the fight, going to try and take it underneath underneath the fort. The force wall prevents them from coming in from a full engage, though. June in particular being zoned out, so he can't hit that Divine Storm. We're going to have multiple members taking damage here on H, but remember, that is the Ultimate Evolution clone.
Yeah, here comes the Ancestral once again. The hunt goes in. The stun is good, but Oriel with a save, using her ult, and once again, Illidan committing. Cassia is falling. The force wall, perfect. Just completely shutting off the path of retreat. Rhaegar is dying as well, and it's just Estar completely obliterating Tempostorm on Sky Temple.
Heads up play there from Estar Gaming too. The moment that fort fell down, the anchor for Tempostorm was lost, and they moved in for the full-on aggression, got a couple kills, and moving into the keep now. Keep wall has been burned out. X is not stopping here, man. He keeps charging forward. He's on top of a fort. He has a Tassadar shield. He does not care.
Did you pay attention how to the clone on Abathur? They just can't kill it. The entire time, Xingzi can do whatever he wants, because first of all, you have Illidan wreaking havoc in the middle of the opponent's team, but then also the Vala clone is going way more aggressive, positioning himself in front of the real Vala and dishing out damage. They're trying to take her down, but every single time the double support is there, healing her up once again. This is just absolutely brutal what we are witnessing here. And it gets worse, since on 16, Oriel now committed also to the will of heaven. That's another 20% attack speed for Vala or Illidan, depending on the situation.
Tempostorm probably has one more team fight in them before this game gets out of control, and I would argue it's probably out of control already. Getting to a point where they can break down a support and break this composition down has been difficult to say the least. Estar Gaming sitting around this boss, willing to potentially start a fight soon here, as it's only one of the main objectives that they have to worry about.
I would argue that what you need is really the resets for Genji. Get a bit more damage in with him, and once you get a snowball started, you might have a chance here. But Estar is rocking this setup without a single tank, only using Illidan as that front line in beautiful fashion. The amount of sustain they have is fantastic. And Illidan also, with a hunt as a pseudo-global, is just side-soaking the entire time and joins only for the team fights. It gives them that 3-level lead that we're currently seeing here on the board.
Tempostorm realizing that they only have one more fight left in them before it gets too crazy, or even starting to group up. A talent disadvantage and looking for a fight. Detainment Strike hits Fury here on the left. The hunt comes out. They're diving in on Psalm. The Rhaegar low on health. Rhaegar does fall. Big Divine Storm, not really hitting too much here.
Vala down on the other hand. That's a big one. That's a really big one. Can they take down the copy? They're trying. But Cassia falls, and so does Uther. Tempostorm get the initial kill against Vala, but now they're losing 4 heroes in a row. Murdered and eliminated. And the only survivor is the ninja. Genji on the way back as Tiger moves in with a force wall and nearly takes him down as well. Estar Gaming, Trickster, they are on fire right now.
They are crisp right now when it comes to these fights. And now they get the temples. One here in the middle, one on the top. And they're hitting keeps here. Second keep will be hit here in the middle, burned down pretty quickly. And Estar Gaming, all they have to do is just make sure to wait for their Vala to respawn. They continue moving forward on the battleground here and really just snowballing this great mid-game they've had into the late game.
Yeah, the early game, this is where Estar Gaming struggled a bit against Tempostorm. That was to be expected, but now that we have all these tools to keep heroes alive, the combo also with Force Wall and Detainment Strike to isolate targets, and Illidan just never dying. This is exactly what they need. A big help, of course, is also the Soma Transference on level 13 from Abathur. That really helps whichever target he chooses for his symbiote. Vala even dying in that last fight, usually having a huge impact in these battles. But even without her, they could easily turn it around and go for a fantastic trade. Tempostorm, they have the 16 now though. Maybe now.
Smallest of windows. In fact, that window has already closed. Not even a breeze here for Tempostorm. They're moving in for a little bit of aggression, but look at Estar Tiger. Positions for a force wall. It connects. Psalm's already at half health, and they haven't traded any damage out.
Illidan is on the call, and that's the copy.
They're
not even caring. They're just trying to prevent him from portaling back. They have the nowhere to hide. Illidan moved in. Abathur copies him, and they're saying, why would we even fight here? We just end the game. This is over. Estar takes down Tempostorm on game number 1 on Sky Temple here. Fantastic performance by them. 14 kills against 5 at the end of the game. Estar with the lead.
Double the Illidan.
Simply go with the double Illidan onto the core.
But some sneaky strategies from their counterparts.
Franco going to be the first band to start things off, Jay Howe.
I'd say that their last composition could also conceivably work on this map.
Yeah.
I mean, that's also the inherent threat in it, isn't it? That's what they banned last game. They went into Iliaba. It's a big map again.
Banned a hacker again as well.
Yes.
They are leading into
That's
it.
why. And Tempostorm last game, they banned Tyrael.
Oh, that's a good consideration. The
might as
memories
well.
are there.
They're thinking about Illidan, they're thinking about...
Here in the blue or on the left.
We have June on Rhaegar, Kettle on Greymane this time with Sam on Genji, Cawthon on the Falstad, and Fury at that front line on Tyrael in the second game against Estar.
To the right, in the red, currently up 1-0. It's going to be Estar Gaming, SW on Uther, Tiger on Oriel, Xingzi on Vala, X on Anubarak, and H on ETC.
Jingzi has played a terrifying Vala once again last game, and we've seen him play with exactly this setup to back him up on Dragonshire already. It's a big map, and of course, Tempostorm, they are a team who has shown in the past that they can play the macro game. They like to play around their opponents. That's something, a lesson that Red Cannons actually learned in the first match against them, when I think in the entire game we saw 2 or 3 kills and a very dominant performance by Tempostorm. It's something that they have to repeat right now, but Estar Gaming, they're known for their aggression, and they're going to look for these teamfights.
It's a really good point. If you have a hard time catching Tempostorm, they will outmacro you over time. They will safely and methodically break you down. Estar Gaming, though, is willing to go in for those hard engages and force those fights. And with an ETC being in here, look for H to be one of the main contributors to those engages. So here he is in the bottom, dealing with the 3-man pressure that is occurring. Estar Gaming is actually rotating instead of pushing in the top themselves.
Yeah, at this point, we have also in the mid lane still the vision control of Estar, so they're trying to control the map, at least for now. I want to also highlight once again that at this point, Estar is actually 5-0 in maps in this tournament, whereas Tempostorm is now 3-2. If they lose this map as well, they would be on a 3-3 score with a very rough standing in the group and would more or less have to take games off L5 and Team Dignitas. So a pretty tall order here for the rest of the tournament. Therefore, we're going to see them really put everything into this game right now, trying to at least take a map off the Chinese opponent.
See if they can pull it off. The rotation is finally finished up for Estar Gaming as they keep moving in from the bottom and the middle. Falstad in the middle could be in trouble. Cawthon instantly will get away from that fight. But here we are, the nukes deploying in the next 15 seconds. And I'm interested to see what Tempostorm does. Speaking with Kato, he mentioned he used to not like this battleground at all. It was something they did not enjoy. But Tempostorm has found a spark to this battleground, and now it's one of their favorites, they mentioned. In fact, they're showing it as they keep coming back to it.
Exactly. We've been talking to them a bit earlier, and Kato has mentioned that when the map was first released, he didn't really enjoy playing it a lot, but that since then it has changed. For now, though, they are falling a bit behind when it comes to the warheads here, but SW on his Uther is all of a sudden in trouble, and Nubarak attempting to help out. Uther still on the move back, but Psalm is already looking for a potential kill. The cooldown on the heal comes off just in time, though. But Uther is a bit too greedy here.
A little too greedy, trying to bring back the 2014 memes of Uther never dies, but he falls there. June, however, may be overstepping. No, he will be able to get away as a nuke available. But meanwhile, Estar Gaming in the top lane was pushing in.
Yeah, it was actually a really interesting moment that we had there. Uther with the eyes on the prize, but not saving himself, trying to get the counter kill. Also, when we're talking about Genji, as the second nuke is now being placed, I want to quickly highlight that this time, we don't see the ping pong build that was played in the last game. The Agile Dismount on level 1 has been chosen, and we see the Shuriken Mastery now on level 4. So trying to be a bit more mobile, especially with the level 1 talent on such a big battleground.
Agile Dismount, yeah, especially on this battleground as mentioned. It's usually on the smaller battlegrounds like Tuma, Spider Queen, even Braxis to a point. They're trying to jump in and get those kills, especially on the solo laners. But Genji here on this battleground is most likely going to be mounting up no matter what on a rotation. So why not pick that up and go in for a hard engage?
Exactly, especially since we have so much debris that you can tactically also use to put yourself into a good position during these fights. For now, also, when we're looking at the builds, we see nothing new from Jingzi. He really likes to use the hybrid build with Vala going on level 1 for the Hot Pursuit. And he's actually one of the Vala players that probably has, I would say, the best mechanics. His Vala is outstanding, and the value that he gets out of the level 1 talent is something we could witness in the last game in particular, but also before that.
Yeah, probably the only one I can think of from EU that I was equally impressed with the mechanics was probably Darkmoth. Whenever we saw him a lot, yeah, Xingzi in this tournament right now has been just absolutely destroying. So keep an eye on him as he keeps up with that. Now, Tempostorm actually went in for an aggressive engage a bit earlier. Estar sniffed it out. But once you go in for those aggressive engages, the team is going to start realizing that you're disappearing from the minimap, and we're going to see constantly Estar Gaming keeping up with the rotations. They're moving between the middle, controlling watchtowers. They don't want anything to go under the radar as Tempostorm keeps up with this.
And talking about Tempostorm, another hero that we have to highlight quickly here is Cattle, who's currently on Greymane, going for a bit of a hybrid build. Not committing full to the cocktail, but picking up the Drought Overflow on level 4 still, going on level 7, the Quicksilver Bullets here. And also when we're looking at a hero like Falstad, who's currently here in the mid lane, Boomerang now picked on level 7, so it's really a lot about the wave clear for Cawthon as well. This is going to become a big thing, especially towards the end of the game. But up at the top, we are actually seeing potentially... I don't think that X is really going to go for it. He's very much alone against
okay.
three.
He just goes on in. Charges forward. We have Oriel and Uther on the way, but he's just going to fall victim. It's too far of a distance to rotate across, and he's dead.
Yeah, that's usually the moment when I report my Hero League allies for feeding.
×9, of course.
I'm not 100% certain what the thought process here was. If you looked at the minimap, everybody else was so far away, and he finds himself into in a 1 versus 3 situation that he knows about. He sees them. It's not that one of them was hidden and he thinks, okay, against 2 I can stall until the rest of the team is there. So That was an interesting decision to say the least.
Very optimistic, I think is the word for that. And Tempostorm will take that kill, take that boss, and they'll take a major lead.
Yeah, you could argue he saw an opportunity for greatness. Yeah.
And then it became flat out not so much. So 10 about to hit here for Tempostorm, and this is big news for them. They can set up for the next boss. They have 3 nukes on them right now. That big play really kind of snowballed for them. I was actually kind of curious as to why Estar Gaming didn't snip that out earlier. In the bottom left corner, Tempostorm grabbed the Hellbats, pushed in, and then invaded.
Yeah.
That kind of indicates to us that whenever they grab mercenary camps, they're going to move in for an aggressive play. And they grabbed the mercs on the left and then went for that boss without being contested for 30 seconds, which was a pretty crazy heads-up play from them. And Estar Gaming definitely taking the hits here as a boss will be pushing in the bottom.
Overall, we have Tempostorm really trying to dominate the map into those 2 bosses. They had the one at the top, they're moving to the one here at the bottom of the map. And with the fort already gone, this one is moving towards the keep.
4 nukes, man.
There's a lot of pressure against that keep. They can simply go in with a boss, with the nukes, and I would say that Estar has to think about really trying to stop them before they reach that point. ETC can of course stage dive in, but I'm really curious to see which ground they're going to use to force that fight, because fighting on the boss with 4 nukes, and here we start already, it's going to be rough.
Yeah, Tempostorm has made it too far already here. Here comes the stage dive. They'll go in for the engage. The main goal is to make sure they don't use nukes here. We're going to have the Aegis pop out as Power Slide does get hit here. H able to retreat, especially with the Divine Shield coming out. And we're going to have Strafe actually get a kill on Genji.
Yeah, the Ancestral not hitting, and that was perfect by Estar. And then it comes back to what I just said. They need to make sure that they take the fight before Tempostorm takes position at the keep, or all that the blue team has to do is drop the nukes, and with the help of the boss, they will get the fort. Cawthon, good escape so far, but he might still die. He should actually. But overall, they're still putting some pressure on the key, but it's just not enough. He tries to use the nuke, but that is a bit of a lost opportunity for Tempostorm.
Yeah, third guy buys 3 seconds, but not enough. As Falstad falls for the next 15 seconds, he will not be on the field. And the nukes, one now available for Estar Gaming.
Just to highlight it again, Tempostorm just attacked the bottom keep with a boss and 4 nukes, and Estar was able to move behind the boss, force a fight there. You could see that Falstad with the Gust was attempting to just push them back so they could start the nuke process again, but it didn't work out. So the Chinese here with a fantastic defense against arguably that should have been the first keep of the game.
Yeah, a moment for even an aggressive play too. You can start moving in on boss if you got a couple of kills there, and maybe even moving for the core. So Tempostorm not really being able to pull off what we thought they would be able to do. So now Estar is answering back pretty well now. They're starting to get control of the map here in the middle, opening up themselves. They have the top 4 already taken out, and they also have the ETC who will have stage dive in about 70 seconds. So if this 4 squad right here makes sure not to get caught out by a mighty Gust, there's not really a major way for Tempostorm to come in for an engage.
What I like about Tempostorm, Falstad actually flying in for the Gust. Great Gust here in the backline. They're going in and immediately the Sanctifications on the ground as we're having nukes popping off, and also still the strafe being used here. Great fight thus far. Cocoon is out, and it might be Anubarak who dies first.
Estar holds there somehow, some way. They continue to keep up the attacks, and Xing Si is turning around for the auto attack. Saw him in the back right corner, maybe in trouble, waiting for his cooldowns to come up, but nobody on Estar Gaming died. That was probably one of the best ways for Tempostorm to get back into this game after that moment in the bottom right corner, and yet they don't pull anything out.
I can't believe that nobody died in this fight.
That was insane.
It was a crazy good Gust, and then a Sanctification to follow it up, but somehow Estar survives in this. That was a pretty interesting teamfight that we saw there. Very hectic at times, but Anubarak in particular still able to get out with the rest of the team. We have 13 talents on the side of Estar, and Tempostorm will hit that next talent level in just a few seconds as well. I kind of like that also Falstad is currently trying to really put more and more pressure onto that bot lane, thanks to the global mobility that he has. Taking this much damage earlier on the keep on the side of Estar is of course putting the pressure onto the Chinese team, but they are countering that now with a 4-man and the bot lane, trying to push the lane out and picking up some extra experience by destroying another fort.
Yeah, I wanted to echo your thoughts on those forts being taken down. Now, any boss that is picked up by Estar Gaming becomes much more effective because they can push into the keep both in the top lane and the bottom lane. Where Tempostorm has always set up a win condition in the bottom lane, pushing the keep. In the top lane, if a boss is taken, that's a fort. Estar Gaming has a defensible position. So right now, Estar, in terms of map control, in a much better position. 2 nukes will be used in the top to burn down the fort over here and start tying up the experience here for Tempostorm.
Big face melt focus also on the side of ETC, who on level 13 now picked up the mic check. We have still that Hyper Carry Vala up at the top lane here. And what I like about Tempostorm in particular is that they really focus on the mercenary. They concentrate on the camps in this game. They have now up at the top lane taken another one that starts to push in. And of course proxies a few of the waves, which forces a Nuburak to deal with Tempostorm's waves, or they would lose the fort here eventually. Falstad, on the other hand, might now be in a bit of trouble since ETC moves in, and he's not the only one.
Coffin actually flew over a minion there, so Estar Gaming saw that immediately happen, and they all just rotated towards those Hellbats to really make sure that they didn't get taken away. And I like how they didn't start the boss in the top lane, which is what Tempostorm thought. Estar Gaming took the patience here to make sure the bottom boss was not grabbed by the opposing team. If they had to, they could have used ETC to come in for the engage.
It was also a really cool escape here from Falstad. It looked for a moment that if ETC is able to slide in, that he would fall there, but he is able to move out. Talking about Falstad, by the way, we have him currently on 20 stacks on the season marksman. And of course, with the auto attack focus that we see on level 4 and 13 with the hammer gains and also the giant killer, this is going to start pressuring the front line of Estar even more. Sam with a good positioning here at the boss as the rest of his team is at the bot lane. So they're attempting to simply trade bosses. Sam should not be able to make anything happen, and Greymane is not moving to the top. They're not looking to contest. They know that this boss is very likely going to give them the keep at the bot lane, so they are willing to take the trade.
H doing the same here and just trying to distract and maybe get someone to get a little too much attention away, but Tempostorm is not biting, and they will grab the boss in the bottom here before both teams hit level 16. H is being grabbed upon. Will be able to power slide away. He has stage dive and needs to retreat. The mighty gust to interrupt. Nicely done here from Coffin, and that's going to be Cattle going in for looking the kill. There's a hammering, and there it is.
That was really well done. Waiting for the stage dive, immediately popping the gust and interrupting. So now the keep is going to be attacked. Boss at the top lane, of course, still a concern. They need to be careful about it. Issa has one thing going for them now that they find themselves in the 4 versus 5, and it's the level 16 that they're going to hit any second.
Yeah, they're about to hit it, but so will Tempostorm. Only about a half level away, a couple more waves, and they'll be good to go. We're going to have Uther dealing with Psalm here on the left side, delaying that nuke for a longer time. Now, do note, Estar Gaming has had the boss pushing in the top lane the entire time here. Finally, Greymane will move over to defend it, while Xingzi himself is defending the bottom boss that was pushing in. So both teams have keeps exposed. Did Genji just get killed by an Uther?
Yeah. That's an NA little moment right there. That should not happen.
Holy shock OP. I've been telling you for years.
Some messing up here a bit. Him dying is a big issue for them right now. So that is a problem for 20 more seconds. Defense at the bot lane, by the way, saved the keep. This is a rough kill here. Usa must feel quite good about himself. Also wanted to highlight a few talent choices that we had on 16 coming in. We have first of all the Frost Shot for Vala. That's going to give a lot of control in these team fights to Estar. We're also seeing the Will of Heaven taken, so the extra attack speed. Xingzi is just going to pop off with this in the team fights. And we have the Afterburner taken for Cawthon. So for him, it's really currently about repositioning himself in those team fights, trying to also get a good angle potentially for Mighty Gust.
Yeah, the Afterburner going to be also for chasing down that ETC and then a Nuburak. Get those auto attacks in. Once you start actually breaking down to half health, Cawthon's going to be very effective at killing tanks. Now, multiple nukes in the top right corner. We'll get that keep nice and low on health there for potential kill there. Oh, that was 3 nukes there, so that's going to be an active keep. Poked off while in the bottom lane. A push occurring for Estar Gaming. They only have 1 nuke though.
I feel this is one of the things that we have to highlight with Tempostorm, that they really play well around the objective. They had a lot of nukes before, but they were not able to deliver, but now they take the first keep, and Estar is looking for the trade. They went to the bot lane. I don't think that Tempo can really threaten core here. H, on the other hand, he needs to move back first. Keep is gonna fall. He's trying to delay. Rest of the team comes in. Tempo needs to retreat. They cannot take this fight.
They're actually going for the retreat, but look at this. Vala and Ariel on the core, and Estar Gaming will try to keep everyone back at bay in the back right corner. Here comes the stage dive as well. They're going straight for it. They're burning it down. Just now getting through the armor. Finally, one member will be able to come home, and Psalm will be able to slow it down overall, especially with Cawthon flying in.
I'm still surprised that ETC stage dived in.
I thought he was going to stage dive on the opposing team and make it harder for them to back. That way Vala could have more time.
Yeah, like I would have liked that a bit more. Oh, the Chinese push meta is once again coming to play.
It's scary.
I mean, they backed out the core the last time with Illidan, and that worked really well, but that was also thanks to the help of catapults that we had. So in this particular setup, ETC once again being a little bit optimistic here. They take the camp away, though. And I must say, this game is actually super interesting right now. When we have, again, the stun, the Ancestral, the Sanctus on the ground. They're trying to turn it around, the Holy Ground in the backline, preventing Estar from moving out of your Divine Shield is already in, and Vala is just completely going bonkers, taking down Rhaegar and not stopping there.
The Strafe murdering multiple people, and Cattle himself, low too, will be running away, but Estar's SW may have another kill with Uther, goes in for the auto attack, and we'll finish it with the help of Xingzi. Big and Nuburak Cocoon, there's an Impale, and 4 people are down. Tempostorm has 1 lone Tyrael here for defense, and it won't be enough.
Tempostorm has only Tyrael left. The last fight, look at Jingzi here. He's laughing. He probably didn't expect this to go this well. Tempostorm saw an opportunity, thought they could get the team fight and could win it, carry it home, but the opposite happens. Estar Gaming turns it around and they deliver with a 2-0 victory against the North American team here, taking the lead, and they are currently 6-0 in the group.
Man, look at that holy ground at the end there from Fury. Just wasn't quite on point.